What if the quiet lies you've been telling yourself about being fine, about needing just one more day to figure it out, aren't protecting you at all, but slowly erasing the woman you were meant to become? Imagine waking up tomorrow, not as the exhausted version of yourself who's mastered survival, but as the unbreakable force who turns every scar into strength, every doubt into defiance. You've felt that pull, haven't you? The whisper that there's more to your story than endless giving without getting back? But here's the truth that changes everything. Ancient warriors of the mind, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, cracked the code to reclaiming your power, and it's not about trying harder. It's about seeing through the illusions that keep you chained. Watch as we shatter them one by one, transforming your hidden pain into unyielding purpose. What if, by the end, you're not just inspired, but unstoppable? As you watch, kindly spare a second to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified when we share our next video. Also, let us know the city you're watching from and what time it is over there. You are not failing because you're weak. You are failing because you're strong enough to carry everyone else's expectations while forgetting your own name. Stop. Feel that. The tightness in your throat when you say, "I'm fine." The way your shoulders rise like armor every time someone asks, "How are you really?" The silent scream you swallow at 2:17 a.m. when the house is quiet and the mask finally slips. You've been told your whole life that strength looks like never breaking. So you learn to smile with a cracked rib, to apologize for taking up space, to shrink your dreams so they fit inside someone else's comfort zone. You became a master at holding it together, until the seams split in places no one sees. This is the moment you've been avoiding. Not the breakup, not the missed promotion, not the child who won't sleep or the mother who won't stop calling. This is the moment you look in the mirror and realize you don't recognize the woman staring back. She's exhausted from performing resilience. She's furious at how gently she handles everyone else's fragility while her own is dismissed as drama. She's terrified that if she stops doing, she'll discover she's forgotten how to be. You think you're here for answers. You're not. You're here because something inside you just whispered, "If I keep going like this, I will disappear." And for the first time, you didn't silence it. Let's be brutally honest. You've survived worse than this. You've birthed humans. You've buried dreams. You've smiled through surgeries and layoffs, and "we need to talk" texts at 11:43 p.m. You've done the impossible with a toddler on your hip and a deadline in your teeth. But survival is not the same as living. And you know it. You feel it every time you say yes when your body screams no. Scroll past another influencer's perfect morning routine and hate yourself for not waking at 5 a.m. Rehearse conversations in the shower that will never happen. Apologize for having needs. Measure your worth in likes, raises, or how clean the baseboards are. You've been gaslit by a culture that calls your exhaustion laziness, your boundaries selfish, your grief inconvenient. You've internalized the lie that a good woman is a bottomless well, always giving, never emptying, never asking to be refilled. But here's the truth they don't sell in pastel quote graphics. The strongest women aren't the ones who never cry. They're the ones who cry, wipe their face, and decide what happens next. You are not broken. You are breaking open. This is the sound of the cocoon splitting. The moment the caterpillar realizes wings were always the plan. You didn't land here by accident. You were led by the quiet rebellion that's been growing in your chest. The one that notices when you're diminishing yourself to keep the peace. The one that flinches when someone says, "You're so strong, you'll be fine," like it's a compliment instead of a life sentence. You are tired of being the rock. Rocks get eroded. Rocks get taken for granted. Rocks don't get to want. But you do. You want to stop performing perfection. You want to speak without calculating how it'll land. You want to rest without guilt. You want to be seen, not for what you do, but for who you are when no one's watching. You want to remember the girl who used to dance in the kitchen to songs no one else liked. Read until 4 a.m. because the story wouldn't let her go. Believe her hunger was holy. She's still in there, under the to-do lists and the shoulds and the armor you mistook for skin. She's waiting for you to stop betraying her. This is not another self-help sermon. This is a rescue mission. For the woman who's been holding the world together with trembling hands. For the one who's afraid that if she lets go, everything will fall apart. Everything will fall apart. And that's the point. Because what's falling apart isn't you. It's the lie that you have to earn your right to exist. It's the story that your value is in your usefulness. It's the cage you built with good intentions and people-pleasing and I can handle it. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be unleashed. Imagine this. 1 year from now, you wake up and the first thought isn't asterisk, what do I have to prove today? It's what do I get to create? You move through your day like a woman who knows her worth isn't negotiable. You say no without explanation. You say yes without apology. You laugh too loud in public and don't care who stares. You protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. You are no longer available for anything that requires you to shrink. That woman isn't a fantasy. She's your future self, sending you this message in a bottle. Stop waiting for permission. The life you want is already yours. It's just buried under everyone else's opinions. The shock of recognition isn't that you're lost. It's that you've been found. By the part of you that refuses to die quietly. By the voice that's been whispering through the noise. This isn't it. There's more. You're more. You're not here to become a better woman. You're here to become undeniable. To stop auditioning for a life that was already cast with you as the lead. To walk off the stage of everyone else's script and into the wildfire of your own becoming. The question isn't, can I do this? You've already done harder things before breakfast. The question is, how much longer will I delay my own resurrection? The rooftop is waiting. The rain has stopped. The city lights aren't bleeding anymore. They're watching your move. If you've followed this channel for a while and you find these videos quite touching, don't say anything. Just drop your favorite emoji in the comments section to show us that you relate. But before you make it, let's pull back the curtain on the invisible enemy that's been shadowing your every step. The one that whispers sweet nothings while tightening the noose. It's not some shadowy villain in a thriller, it's closer. It's in your pocket, your feed, your family dinners. It's the trap you've been walking into with eyes wide open, thinking it's the path to safety. Call it the comfort cage. It starts innocently enough. A little scroll to unwind after a long day. Just one more episode to numb the ache in your chest. A polite nod when your gut screams disagreement. These aren't vices. They're survival tactics, right? Until they aren't. Until they morph into chains you've forged yourself, link by link, under the illusion of control. Mentally, it's even more insidious. The trap rewires your brain with the promise of ease. Why think deeply when you can skim? Why question your beliefs when echo chambers affirm them? You start with good intentions, a self-help podcast here, a motivational reel there. But soon, it's all surface. You collect quotes like trophies, be your own hero, hustle harder, without ever interrogating them. The trap turns reflection into rumination. You replay mistakes not to learn, but to punish. You plan futures not to act, but to escape the present. And the escalating cycle? It begins with one skipped workout because you're too tired, then a week, then a month. One white lie to avoid conflict, then a pattern of people-pleasing that erodes your self-respect. Your mind, once a sharp blade, dulls into a blunt instrument, swinging wildly at shadows while the real threats, stagnation, regret, close in unseen. Socially, the trap is a master manipulator. It thrives in the spaces between people, turning connections into competitions. You see it at brunch, friends sharing highlight reels, each one-upping the other with vacations, promotions, perfect kids. You nod along, smiling, while inside you're tallying your deficits. She has the house. I have the debt. He has the partner. I have the apps. The trap convinces you that belonging means blending in, that authenticity is a risk not worth taking. So you edit yourself, tone down the ambition to not intimidate, amp up the empathy to not seem cold. Escalating examples pile up. The group chat where you type and delete a vulnerable share 3 times before sending an emoji instead. The family gathering where you swallow your opinion on politics to keep the peace, only to seethe later in traffic. The workplace where you volunteer for extra shifts not out of passion, but fear of being seen as not a team player. Society reinforces it. Ads selling the dream life. Influencers peddling the glow-up. Norms dictating that women should be nurturing, adaptable, endless. You feed the monster by calling it connection, but it's isolation in disguise. You're surrounded, yet profoundly alone, because the trap has you performing for an audience that doesn't exist. And here's where it deepens. The trap doesn't announce itself. It masquerades as normalcy. You wake up one day and realize you've been sleepwalking through decisions. That promotion you chased? Not for fulfillment, but to prove you're successful. That relationship you clung to? Not for love, but to avoid the label of single. That diet you started? Not for health, but to fit the mold. Repetition builds the bars. Every "I'll do it tomorrow" reinforces procrastination. Every "it's fine" buries resentment. Every "I should" overrides your intuition. The conditioning runs deep, rooted in childhood scripts. Good girls don't complain. Be nice. Don't rock the boat. Amplified by a world that profits from your insecurity. And here's where it deepens. The trap doesn't announce itself. It masquerades as normalcy. You wake up one day and realize you've been sleepwalking through decisions. That promotion you chased? Not for fulfillment, but to prove you're successful. That relationship you clung to? Not for love, but to avoid the label of single. That diet you started? Not for health, but to fit the mold. Repetition builds the bars. Every "I'll do it tomorrow" reinforces procrastination. Every "it's fine" buries resentment. Every "I should" overrides your intuition. The conditioning runs deep, rooted in childhood scripts. Good girls don't complain. Be nice. Don't rock the boat. Amplified by a world that profits from your insecurity. Feel the tension rising? That's the trap squirming under the light. It's not just habits. It's a system designed to keep you small, distracted, dependent. Emotionally, it leaves you brittle, snapping at loved ones over spilled milk because the real pressure is internal. Mentally, it fogs your clarity, turning potential into paralysis, analysis without action, dreams without deadlines. Socially, it fragments your relationships into transactions. Give to get approval, withhold to protect ego. And the escalation? It starts small. A skipped meditation session becomes a month without self-care. A casual comparison on social media becomes an obsession with metrics. A minor compromise at work becomes a career of quiet desperation. But you're sensing it now, aren't you? That itch under your skin, the whisper that this isn't inevitable. The trap operates by making you complicit. You tighten the screws yourself, convinced it's for your own good. They feed the monster by calling it comfort. But comfort is the enemy of growth. It's the soft bed that becomes a grave if you never rise. You see yourself in this, not because I'm pointing fingers, but because the mirror is impartial. The woman who stays late at the office, not for the work, but to avoid the empty apartment. The mother who says yes to every PDA request, draining her energy until there's nothing left for her own spark. The friend who listens endlessly but never shares, fearing burden. These aren't accusations, they're reflections. The trap has you believing struggle is weakness, when it's the forge of strength. Yet, the deeper truth, the trap isn't unbreakable. It's built on illusions, that external approval equals self-worth, that busyness equals purpose, that safety lies in sameness. Strip them away, and the bars dissolve. But first, you must name it. Acknowledge how it pulls the strings. Emotionally by amplifying fears, mentally by scattering focus, socially by enforcing conformity. The repetition isn't fate, it's habit, and habits can be rewritten. So, as you stand on that rooftop, city lights watching like silent judges, recognize the enemy isn't out there. It's the patterns you've normalized, the beliefs you've internalized, the comforts you've clung to. The trap is real, but so is your power to step out. Not with force, but with awareness. The invisible becomes visible. The cage unlocks from the inside. Your move just got clearer. And that clarity? It doesn't come from the latest app or viral hack. It draws from the well of ancient warriors and philosophers who stared down chaos long before algorithms hijacked our attention. These weren't soft sages spouting platitudes from ivory towers. They were battle-hardened souls like Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who journaled his meditations amid Roman wars, or Epictetus, the enslaved philosopher who taught that true freedom lives in the mind, not chains. Seneca, the advisor to Nero, navigated court intrigue with razor-sharp letters on virtue. Even echoes from Nietzsche's Will to Power or Sun Tzu's strategic calm in the art of war amplify this lineage. They didn't promise easy escapes. They forged tools for the arena of life. And today, those tools cut through the fog of self-doubt, overthinking, victim mentality, social pressure, and distraction, modern plagues that trap us just as surely as ancient ones. Marcus Aurelius knew the weight of expectation. As Rome's ruler, he faced betrayals, plagues, and endless campaigns, yet he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Translate that to your 3 a.m. scroll through feeds that scream you're not enough. The promotion passed over, the body that doesn't match the filter, the relationship fraying under unspoken resentments. Self-doubt isn't new. It's the eternal whisper that you're inadequate. The arena awaits, but it's not some dusty coliseum under Roman suns. It's your cluttered kitchen counter at dawn, where the coffee brews black and bitter, mirroring the unresolved arguments from last night. It's the glow of your phone screen at 3 a.m., pulling you from shallow sleep into a vortex of unread emails and unsolicited opinions. This is where Stoicism lives now, not in marble scrolls, but in the pulse of notifications that hijack your peace. You reach for the device instinctively, telling yourself it's just a quick check, but it's the first surrender of the day, a quiet betrayal of your inner citadel. They do it too, those women you admire from afar. The executive in the high-rise, scrolling through LinkedIn likes while her mind fractures under the weight of unspoken burnout. Feel the fortress crumbling? That's the trap in action, brick by digital brick. Picture her, the woman who could be you, hunched over her desk at 2 p.m., the fluorescent lights buzzing like accusations. She's practicing a more fatty in heels without knowing it, or rather, resisting it. The heels pinch, a metaphor for the promotion she chased, only to find it laced with longer hours and hollow praise. You know the feeling, the layoff email that lands like a gut punch during your commute, traffic crawling as your mind races. Why me? Echoes, but a more fatty whispers back. Love this twist, sculpt it. They call it bad luck. You could call it the forge. Instead, she stumbles home, heels discarded by the door, collapsing into the couch with takeout and true crime shows. It's not rest, it's evasion. You tell yourself you're unwinding, but you're just postponing the confrontation with fate's raw edges, the miscarriage that still aches in quiet moments, the partner who left with half your wardrobe and all your trust. Feel the blisters forming? That's life demanding you walk taller, not limp away. Cut to the bathroom mirror, steam fogging the glass after a scalding shower. You wipe it clear and stare. Crow's feet etching stories. A body that's carried children or careers or both. Now zoom out to the crowded subway. Bodies pressed, minds adrift. You're premeditating disaster before the big meeting. Visualize the pitch bombing, the client walking out, your voice cracking. Negative visualization isn't paranoia. It's the shield against overthinking's ambush. They fall into it blindly. The woman next to you, earbuds in, replaying a fight with her sister in endless loops, her face twisted in unseen torment. You feel the knot in your stomach too, that familiar churn when a text from your ex lights up. We need to talk. But you've pre-gamed the worst. Heartbreak 2.0, solitude stretching, and when it's just logistics, relief sharpens your edge. It's cinematic relief. The world slows, colors brighten, as you step off the train not shattered, but steeled. Shift scenes to the glowing feed at midnight, thumbs swiping through ads for the latest must-have. The discipline of desire kicks in here, or fails to. You crave the dopamine hit, the new dress, the viral gadget, convincing yourself it fills the void. But it's a bottomless pit. Want less, and the world expands. They indulge, your neighbor with her overflowing closet, yet always nothing to wear. Her desire's a tangled web of social pressure. Feel the itch? It's the trap tightening, distraction masquerading as aspiration. You pause, delete the cart, and suddenly space opens for a walk in the rain, a call to an old friend. Abundance isn't an acquisition. It's an alignment. Virtue the quiet compass amid the noise. Flash to the office break room, coffee mug in hand, as the boss dumps another project on your plate. Sure, I can handle it, you say, voice steady, but inside, resentment simmers. This is where radical responsibility ignites, or fizzles into victim mentality. They play the blame game. The system is rigged, she mutters to her reflection in the microwave door, toxic relationships at work mirroring the one at home, where she tiptoes around egos. You know the exhaustion, the way it seeps into your bones after another late night, placating everyone but yourself. But responsibility cuts through. You chose this job, this silence. Rewrite it, set the boundary, own the fallout. It feels like shedding skin, raw and liberating, as you walk out with head high. No more monologues of martyrdom. Pan to the dinner party, laughter echoing, but your phone buzzes with gossip from absent friends. The art of indifference is your armor here. Let it slide like water off glass. They engage, the woman across the table diving into the drama, her energy siphoned by trends and trolls. You feel the pull too, the silent envy when she flaunts her vacation pics, the urge to counter with your own curated highlight. But indifference isn't ice, it's focus. Tune out the static, tune in to the real, the child's story at bedtime, the book that's waited months. It feels like clarity crystallizing, the world quieter, your path sharper amid the social haze. Cut to the quiet street at dusk, where you slip a coffee into the hand of a harried stranger, no fanfare. Premeditated kindness operates in shadows, not spotlights. They overlook it, burned out from workplace demands, scrolling past pleas for help in group chats. You sense the isolation, the way toxic dynamics drain. The friend who only calls in crisis, expecting your endless empathy. But you plan it. A text at dawn to the colleague struggling, a meal for the neighbor. It feels like warmth spreading, virtue not as burden but ballast, steadying you against the cold pull of self-absorption. Fade to your bed at night's end, journal open under lamplight. The evening review unfolds, victories noted, strays acknowledged. Where did I align? Where falter? They skip it, collapsing into sleep with unresolved knots, overthinking festering like untreated wounds. You feel the day's residue, the commute snarl, the envy spike, but review transforms it. Course correct. Tomorrow, less scroll, more presence. It feels like a ritual cleanse, mind settling into strategic slumber, ready for dawn's arena. Finally, envision the horizon. Your legacy not in labels pinned like badges, mother, boss, survivor, but in ripples unseen. Legacy over labels defies the mold. They chase titles, the influencer with her follower count, silent battles waged in comment sections. You know the burnout, the way roles constrict like ill-fitting clothes. But transcend. Touch lives with quiet courage, a mentored intern thriving, a boundary that inspires a friend. It feels like expansion, self-unbound, philosophy pulsing in every choice. Not in temples, but in the 3 a.m. glow where you choose silence over scroll, in commutes where fate becomes fuel, in mirrors that reflect not flaws but fire. This is Stoicism alive, in your hands, not histories. The ancient whispers echo in modern echoes, the text that goes unsent, the breath that centers, the step that claims ground. You aren't just surviving the trap, you're shattering it, piece by cinematic piece. They watch from the sidelines. You enter the frame, undeniable. You enter the frame, undeniable, but entry alone won't win the war. Now arm yourself. This is the Stoic response, the counterweapon forged in the fire of discipline. Not soft counsel whispered in retreat, but a blade sharpened for the front lines. Wield it. Cut through the illusions that bind you. The enemy is not the world, it's your surrender to it. Strike first. Strike true. The first weapon, the inner citadel. Your mind is the only territory you command. Fortify it. External assaults, betrayals, deadlines, the weight of unspoken expectations, hammer the gates. Let them. Inside, you set the defenses. Silence the internal traitor who whispers defeat. Breathe. Ask, what is truly mine? Control slips from the chaos outside. Seize it within. This citadel doesn't crack under pressure. It thrives there. Build it daily. No siege can starve a soul that feeds on self-mastery. You are the wall. Unbreachable. Second strike, a more fatty in heels. Love your fate, not with resignation, but with fierce embrace. The blisters from life's sharp turns, the lost job, the shattered trust, the body that betrays, are not curses. They are the forge. Sculpt them. Turn the miscarriage into unbreakable resolve. The abandonment into self-reliance. Fate arrives uninvited. Welcome it as ally. What blocks the path becomes the path. Walk it. Heels high. No victim marches here. Only victors who dance with destiny. Amor fati is not passive. It's the charge that turns obstacles into momentum. Claim it. Your scars are stripes of command. Third blade, the mirror of memento mori. Face death daily. Stare into the glass each morning. This flesh fades. These eyes will close. Vanity is the fool's armor. Shed it. Death is your drill sergeant, relentless, impartial. It strips the trivial, the scroll that steals hours, the envy that poisons peace. Whisper, today could be the last. Gratitude ignites. Live not in fear, but in fire. Eulogize your actions now. What legacy lingers? Memento mori doesn't weaken. It weaponizes time. Every breath a battle cry. Waste none. Fourth assault, negative visualization. Preempt the strike. Before the dawn breaks, envision the darkness. The meeting that crumbles. The diagnosis that drops. The love that leaves. Paint it vivid. Feel the sting in advance. When reality lands lighter, you stand unshaken. This is not dread, it's disarmament. Overthinking ambushes the unprepared. You ambush it first. Train the mind like muscle. Stretch it to the worst, then snap back stronger. No surprise can topple a warrior who has already risen from the imagined grave. Visualize. Conquer before the fight. This is Stoicism alive. In your hands, not history's. The ancient whispers echo in modern echoes. The text that goes unsent. The breath that centers. The step that claims ground. You aren't just surviving the trap. You're shattering it, piece by cinematic piece. They watch from the sidelines. You enter the frame, undeniable. You enter the frame, undeniable, but entry alone won't win the war. Now arm yourself. This is the Stoic response, the counterweapon forged in the fire of discipline. Not soft counsel whispered in retreat, but a blade sharpened for the front lines. Wield it. Cut through the illusions that bind you. The enemy is not the world. It's your surrender to it. Strike first. Strike true. Fifth edge, the discipline of desire. Want less. Command more. Desire is a wild beast. Tame it. The feed dangles illusions. Perfect lives, endless acquisitions. Starve them. Crave only what aligns with virtue. Clarity, courage, connection. Delete the distraction. Decline the drain. Abundance follows restraint. You don't need the validation of strangers. You need the sovereignty of self. Discipline desire, and the world bends. No longer chained to more, you move free. This weapon prunes the excess. What remains is steel. Sixth thrust, radical responsibility. On it all. No excuses. No blame. The ex who shattered you? The system that slighted you? They don't script your response. You do. Victimhood is surrender. Reject it. Author the narrative in unbreakable ink. When the scale mocks, the mirror lies, the world demands. Respond with ownership. What now? Not why me. Radical responsibility isn't burden, it's liberation. Carry your choices like a shield. They protect. They propel. No external force dictates your worth. You forge it. Step up. Command the field. Seventh cut, the art of indifference. Selective. Surgical. Not apathy, but precision. Gossip, trends, trolls. They are arrows aimed at nothing. Dodge them. Focus the blade on what matters. values, craft, kin. Everything else. Static. Tune it out. Social pressure presses, indifference evaporates it. The opinion that wounds? Render it irrelevant. This art doesn't numb. It sharpens. Energy can serve for the true war. Indifferent to noise, you hear your own voice, clear, commanding. Wield it. The battlefield quiets. Eighth pierce, premeditated kindness. Plan your strikes of light. Generosity is not impulse, it's strategy. Map it. The message to the fractured friend at midnight, the hand extended to the stranger in silence. Virtue is drilled, not dreamed. In a world of takers, give deliberately, not to gain, but to ground. Kindness fortifies alliances, erodes isolation. This weapon builds bridges while burning bridges to weakness. Execute it. Small acts accumulate into unbreakable armor. Kindness premeditated outlasts chaos. Ninth volley, the evening review. Interrogate the day. No mercy for lapses. 3 questions, etched in the dim light. Where did I honor my code? Where did I falter? How do I strike truer tomorrow? This is not reflection, it's reconnaissance. Rumination devours the weak, review redeems them. Close the ledger. Sleep as the strategist who trusts the plan. Dawn brings no regrets, only refined resolve. The evening review hones the edge. Sharper each night. Unyielding. 10th and final forge. Legacy over labels. Transcend the tags. Mother. CEO. Survivor. They are chains if you let them. Craft the impact. The lives etched by your clarity, your courage. Die empty. Pour every drop before the end. Society pins labels. Rip them free. Your worth isn't in rolls, but in ripples. Legacy is the ultimate weapon, eternal, unerasable. Build it now, not for applause, but for the quiet knowing. You fought clean, you left light. These 10 weapons are your arsenal, not theories, but tools tested in the trenches of existence. The inner citadel guards your core. Amor fati charges forward. Memento mori fuels the fire. Negative visualization anticipates. Discipline of desire streamlines. Radical responsibility empowers. Art of indifference focuses. Premeditated kindness connects. Evening review refines. Legacy over labels endures. Deploy them. The mental shift is immediate. Illusion shatters under discipline strikes. Habits form in repetition, daily, deliberate. No fluff in the forge, only fire. You can't control the storm, but you command the sail. Emotions signal, don't let them seize the helm. Read them. Redirect. Firm up. The counterweapon isn't optional, it's orders. Train like the warrior you are. Each mantra a march. Illusion falls. Truth stands. You don't inspire, you incarnate. Clarity is your crown. Wear it. Wield it. Win. When the war within and the external battles lose their terror. But victory here isn't the end. It's the threshold. Step through. Leave the arsenal behind for a moment. Breathe into the space it creates. This is the philosophical turn, from the grind of mindset to the expanse of meaning. No longer just surviving the siege or wielding the blade. Now, you inhabit the why. The deeper current beneath the waves of daily strife. Zoom out. See the arc of your existence not as isolated skirmishes, but as a tapestry woven with threads of identity, mortality, destiny, freedom, and purpose. These aren't abstract ideals for dusty tomes. They're the quiet forces that shape every choice, every breath. And in embracing them, the struggle alchemizes into awakening, a clarity that doesn't roar, but resonates like the hum after a storm. Consider identity first. Who are you, stripped of the labels society staples to your skin? The Stoics knew, you are not the roles you play, mother, leader, lover, but the essence that chooses how to play them. Marcus Aurelius, amid empire's demands, saw identity as the soul's quiet sovereignty. To live a good life, we have the potential for it. If we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. In your modern mirror, this means shedding the fractured self pieced together from likes and expectations. You are not the sum of your failures, the missed deadline that echoes self-doubt, the relationship that crumbled under unspoken weights. Nor are you defined by triumphs that fade like morning mist. Identity is the unchanging core, the observer behind the eyes, the will that decides. The turn to meaning lies in seeing destiny as partner, not adversary. Women often bear this burden disproportionately. Societal destinies scripted in caregiving, beauty standards, glass ceilings. Yet philosophy awakens the rewrite. Grounded logic. What you cannot control, you can interpret. The layoff becomes the call to reinvent, the solitude after loss, the space for self-discovery. Freedom emerges here, not absolute, but internal. Nietzsche echoed this in his Eternal Return. Live as if this moment repeats forever. Would you choose it? This question cuts through overthinking's fog, aligning actions with authentic purpose. Destiny isn't imposed, it's co-created. Awaken to that, and the struggle for control dissolves into flow. Freedom, the Stoic Grail. Not license to indulge, but liberation from what enslaves. Epictetus, chained physically, was unbound mentally. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Translate to your world. Freedom from the victim mentality that chains you to past wounds, from social pressure that dictates your pace. It's the ability to say no without guilt, to rest without apology. Women, conditioned to nurture endlessly, often mistake bondage for virtue, pouring from an empty cup until exhaustion claims them. The philosophical shift: freedom is mastery over desires, not their slave. Logic anchors it. True freedom scales with self-command. Disciplined desire, and chains of comparison break. Indifference to noise frees energy for essence. This isn't ethereal. It's practical spirituality, choosing peace over performance, clarity over chaos. Awakening feels like this. The weight lifts, not because the load vanishes, but because you carry only what matters. Purpose crystallizes in this space, not imposed by culture, but ignited from within. This turn isn't escape, it's elevation. From mindset's tactical trenches to meaning's vast horizon. Struggle was the forge, awakening, the tempered blade. Reflective now, imagine the rooftop again, not in rain, but under stars. City lights below, infinite sky above. You stand, not as warrior braced for battle, but as witness to the whole. Identity rooted, mortality embraced, destiny danced with, freedom claimed, purpose pursued. The world doesn't demand your perfection, it needs your presence. Conscious, clear, unyielding. Logic whispers, all this was always yours. Spirit echoes, now live it. Stillness settles. Truth sinks in, not as thunder, but as dawn's first light. The awakening isn't an end, it's the eternal beginning. Here, in this moment of meaning, you are whole. I stand on the rooftop of my own life. City lights no longer witnesses, but reflections of the fire I carry inside. I swear this oath, not to the world, but to the woman I have always been beneath the noise, the roles, the silence I mistook for peace. I choose awareness over comfort. I will no longer trade truth for ease. When the feed tempts me to scroll, I will pause. When the mirror lies, I will correct it. When the past knocks, I will greet it without apology and close the door on its terms. I will not chase peace. I will create it. In the breath between impulse and action. In the silence after the scream. In the no that protects the yes. Peace is not the absence of storm. It is the I build within it. I will master the storm by mastering myself. The inner citadel is not a metaphor. It is my daily construction. Brick by breath, wall by choice, gate by gate. No siege of opinion, no flood of expectation, no drought of validation will breach what I defend with clarity. I embrace my fate. A more fatty is not surrender, it is sovereignty. The blister, the break, the betrayal, each is raw material. I sculpt. I do not ask why. I ask what now, and I answer with motion. I face death every morning. Memento mori is my alarm. This body will fail. This heart will stop. So I live like the eulogy is being written in real time. No line wasted on regret. No sentence diluted by pretense. I premeditate the worst. Not to fear it, but to free myself from it. I walk into the fire already cooled by vision. The pitch fails. The love leaves. The diagnosis lands. I have already stood in the ashes and chosen to rise. I desire only what serves virtue. The rest is noise. I delete the cart. I decline the drain. I protect the space where my soul breathes. Less becomes liberation. I own every outcome. Radical responsibility is my signature. No blame. No excuse. The pen is in my hand. The ink is my will. I write in present tense. I write in fire. I practice selective indifference. Not coldness, but clarity. The gossip dies unheard. The trend passes unseen. The troll starves. My attention is a blade. I aim it only where it cuts clean. I plan kindness like strategy. The text at 2 a.m. The coffee for the stranger. The boundary spoken with love. These are not gestures. They are strikes. Light and darkness. Power and giving. I review every night. 3 questions. No mercy. Where did I live my code? Where did I stray? How do I return stronger? I close the book. I sleep like a general who trusts tomorrow's plan. I build legacy, not labels. Mother, leader, survivor. These are costumes. I wear them lightly. What endures is the texture of lives I touch with courage. The quiet ripple of a woman who refused to shrink. I die empty. I give it all before the final breath. This is my oath. Not spoken to be heard, but lived to be felt. In the pause before I speak. In the breath before I act. In the silence after I choose. I am not becoming a better woman. I am becoming undeniable. The obstacle was never the way. I am the way. I choose awareness. I choose awareness. I choose awareness. Keep repeating it to yourself. Asterisk if this message spoke to you. Follow for clarity, not comfort. And comment below, I choose awareness. Because awareness is the first weapon of strength.